Hello, this is a Bluthner style 8 grand piano made in 1909, 6 foot 3 inches long, and it's one of our preferred styles of piano. In fact, we have 3 Bluthner grand pianos with the same length in at the moment. I'll just show you this one briefly and then we'll compare it with the other ones. So this is a standard music stand and turned legs as you'd expect. We've replaced the key tops, they were ivory originally, and we've just finished that work actually. So we've finished all the restoration work that we're going to do on the piano, unless we repolish it. We do repolish them very often. In fact, we have 2 others that we've got in stock that we've repolished. This one could do with repolishing in a way, but it's much less expensive because we haven't repolished it. And apart from the fade line, which you can see on the top there, the casework is extremely good, and they're such beautiful pianos. We'll just have a quick look around the whole piano. So sorry, it's a bit on the dark side on this one, but you can see the beautiful veneer that there is, and when they're repolished, and this one has been repolished I think at some stage, because they often look very, very different, much darker when they're not repolished. When we also like to bring out lots of contrast in the grain, so that's having a look at this one. Now we'll have a look at the other ones that we've repolished ourselves. So here's a style 7, which is the same length of piano, and another piano we have in stock. I won't talk too much about this piano because I'm focusing on the style 8 that we've got that's less expensive because we haven't repolished it. Now this one has been repolished. It's 30 coats of French polish finished off by antique waxing, so it's not too reflective and you can see the grain. Mentioned this many times before, but you can see similar grain on this one, very similar indeed. So these Bluthners are such wonderful instruments and wonderful looking instruments, and of course there's no fade line on the top here. By the way, if you do buy a piano, try and keep the lid closed when it's exposed to a lot of light, and perhaps open it up when you play it and then close it again, and then it won't have a difference of colour, which does affect the cost of the piano quite considerably, as you can imagine. So this is another Bluthner Grand, as a style 7 again, 6 foot. Sorry, I beg your pardon, 1910, 6 foot 3 inches long again, and very similar grain really. You can see this has been repolished by us too. They do vary a bit. This one has a beautiful contrast there, as you can see. So because we've repolished this piano ourselves, obviously it does put the price up unfortunately, but they are beautiful pianos, and we found ourselves specialising in this style of piano because we're very fond of both the appearance and the sound of the piano. And this is one where it's in our polishing room, and we're doing it on behalf of a client. So we restored this piano and also repolishing, fully restored this one. So we offer that service as well. We particularly, well, my colleague who does the polishing is really quite ecstatic about the appearance of the piano once it's finished. And this was very plain looking. This client's piano was very plain looking before we revealed the grain underneath. So going back to the 1909 one that we were focusing on, it's much more economical price-wise because we haven't had to do a lot of the work ourselves. Someone's replaced the rest plank, that's the wood under here, and we've talked about that many times before. So it's Alicot scaling style 8 instead of style 7. It doesn't really make much difference for us. They're very similar pianos. It says Alicot there, as you can see. That means it's got this extra string above the others, which we talked about before. But there is another defect here, cosmetically only. So mechanically the piano's really perfect, but you can see the spraying on the frame has got some cracks in it, so that's obviously the spray of the paint, so not affecting the mechanics at all, but it does affect the cost of the piano, the price of the piano. Looking inside the piano, we can see the rest banks being replaced. Bluthner rest banks always are painted black by Bluthner, or I think always. So you can see if that's not black here, and there's a slight bevel here, and you can see the different laminates. So that would be a new delignate rest plank. And by the way, if you have a Bluthner Grand and you can't find the serial number on the top, it's nearly always, especially the old ones, on the right-hand side of the piano here. That's inside the piano near the dampers. So looking at the action of the piano, these are brand new replacement key tops which our team has fitted, and you can see it's an original Bluthner patent action. We've talked about those before. If you want to find out more, please do look on our website. Put a search in for Bluthner patent action and the difference between that and the standard one. And these are the hammers here. I'm going quite quickly because it's the end of the day, sorry, but you can see that the hammer's almost 100%, so that's encouraging, and we need to voice it a little bit, but it's a beautiful tone. The tone on this age of Bluthner Grands is so consistent, and these are very similar tone. Let's have a listen to all three of the pianos. This is the 1905 one. And the 1910 one. You'll see the key tops on this original library. The client didn't want them replaced. This is actually one we restored for a client, and now we've got it into stock because he couldn't play anymore. So these key tops can be replaced, but a lot of people will want to keep the original libraries, even if they are slightly marred. So this is something we can do if you want them replaced on this one. This one's slightly out of tune. We've only just finished that work on it, and it hasn't been tuned, and we haven't voiced the hammers yet either. The 1905 one. And the 1910. And the 1905. And the 1910. So this is 1909 Model 8 Alicot grand piano, 6'3" long, Bluthner. And I tried to compare it with two others that are very different in many respects, but the quality is very similar. So they're just different in terms of sound, and this one in terms of cosmetics. So the price of this is much less. I want to deliberately show you this because we bring the price down every week until the piano's sold. So we make sure the pianos are turned over, and we make sure the price is fair. Obviously we're trying to not put it too high to start with. So if you're interested, please do write to info@robertspianos.com if you'd like to find out more, ask for more questions as well. I'd like to find out more about the difference between the three pianos. But I hope that's been helpful to you. We do particularly love these Bluthner grand pianos, and we've got plenty of videos about Bluthner grand pianos. It's really become our favourite make, I think, in terms of what we repolish, what we restore. It's the sound actually is much more important. I should have said that first. For us, the tone and the touch comes first. Wherever you play a Bluthner is just delightful, really. So thank you very much for listening.